Well, it is time for the second half of our two conference finals previews here, and today we have the Western Conference between the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. This is going to be a very fun series. These two teams faced off last year, and they've been facing off a lot of times, and they've most notably faced off 9 times before in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, some of those were with the Minnesota North Stars, but still, they still count. They're part of the same franchise. This is the 10th time these two teams have faced off in the playoffs. The last time these two teams played was last year, and Edmonton won that series in 6 games, and they're looking to repeat that here, but Dallas is looking to change that narrative. The Oilers, who have looked unbelievable here in these Stanley Cup playoffs, have only lost 1 game since game 3 of the playoffs. They have a 48-29-5 record for 101 points in the regular season. They were the 3rd seed in the Pacific Division. They had a .616 points percentage. They scored 259 goals and allowed 236. So Edmonton there, they were worse than last year regular season-wise. They were kind of cruising to the playoffs. They started off a little bit slow. They take away Stuart Skinner. They put in Calvin Pickard, and then things change the narrative, and they start going on this crazy run. And all of their numbers, every single one, has gotten better, essentially. Their regular season goals for per game was 3.16. In the playoffs, 3.91. So that's been phenomenal there as well, just putting up incredible numbers. Scoring at a really high rate, and we knew this was going to happen. We knew they were going to be able to score at this rate. It's just the way that the Oilers play. In the regular season, for goals against average, they allowed 2.87. In the playoffs, 3.09. So again, the goals against definitely is higher, but still, I think their goaltending has looked much better than it has in previous years in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think that ever since Calvin Pickard's come in, I think things have gotten a lot better. Even when Skinner's played in games 4 and 5, they still looked pretty damn good. But just the dominance from the Oilers does kind of add up to lesser shots on net, and as well as that too, they also haven't allowed a goal in literally 2 games played. So that's a crazy stat there as well. They had a 23.7 power play percentage in the regular season. In the playoffs, 25%. So 1 in every 4 power plays, they are scoring a power play goal, essentially. Their PK was 78.2 in the regular season. In the playoffs, it actually goes down to 66.7. So overall, their PK there has gotten a lot better too. And just above all, everything with the Oilers has gotten pretty solid here. And they defeated the Kings in round 1, 4-2. The narrative completely changed there from that game. And then they defeated Vegas 4-1 in the second round. They defeated the divisional winner. And here they are here going into the conference finals, facing off against the Edmonton Oilers. And you look at the Dallas Stars, a team who their road wasn't as easy as Edmonton's, I guess I would say, but they still fought really hard, and they are here in the conference finals, and they will not mess around this time around. They had a 50-26-6 record in the regular season for 106 points. They were the 2nd seed in the Central Division. They had a .646 points percentage. They scored 277 goals and allowed 224. So again, their numbers overall have gotten really good and have drastically improved here. Their goals for in the regular season was 2.35. In the playoffs, 2.62. So those numbers have increased there as well. They're not scoring as much as other teams are in the playoffs, but I think a lot of their scoring has come from 1 or 2 specific players. A couple other guys have looked good too, but it's been 1 or 2 specific players that are scoring for them right now. Goals against was a 2.71 in the regular season. In the playoffs, 2.92. Now, I get it. That's actually gone up a little bit, but I will say that I think Jake Ottinger has looked way better than that stat will perceive itself. And I think overall, he's looked phenomenal there for the Dallas Stars. And I think that number really is kind of skewed a little bit there. They had a 22 power play percentage in the regular season. They had a 30.8 in the playoffs now. So they have looked phenomenal there. Their power play's gotten a lot better. You know the goal they scored in overtime to advance to the 3rd round? On the power play. So they are a very good power play team with those guys in Ronton and all that. They had an 82% penalty kill in the regular season. It is now 86% in the playoffs. The Oilers with a high-flying power play going up against the Stars with a very good penalty kill it's going to match up pretty interestingly, and we're going to see who ends up becoming the better team, because I think, honestly, special teams might determine this series, if we're being completely honest with you guys here. And then, obviously, they defeated Colorado in 7 games in a thrilling comeback, and then they also defeated Winnipeg in 6 games, so they are here in the conference finals now, facing off against the Oilers. These are 2 very good teams that can score offensively. You combine the amount of points these guys have in the playoffs, they lead by like a metric mile. It's insane. But yeah, these are 2 phenomenal offensively touted teams. You look at the scores here for Edmonton. You got Leon Draisaitl leading the way. 52 goals, 54 assists for 106 points in the regular season. 5 goals, 11 assists, 18 points in the playoffs. Draisaitl's been great. I feel like in the last game or so, he didn't really look like himself. I think maybe there's something there that he's dealing with, and hopefully with this rest, he'll be able to kind of recuperate from that and come back in this series stronger. Next up, Connor McDavid, 26 goals, 74 assists, 100 points in the regular season, 3 goals, 14 assists for 17 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So again, McDavid looking like McDavid, hasn't really scored that much. And one thing you're going to notice here when we go through the Oilers players, they don't have a whole lot of guys who are leading the charge. Their goals, interestingly, are spread out across the lineup. You're not seeing 3 specific players running away with everything. No, it's typically the same. It's a lot of other different players who are scoring. Like Evander Kane has 3 goals in this series. I think Henrique had a goal. Kasperi Kapanen scored the series winner. Just this team and their depth is just insane compared to last year. It is just so much better, honestly. And then Evan Bouchard, 14 goals, 53 assists for 67 points there as well. And then 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Bouchard's been a phenomenal defender for them. Defense is a question, obviously, with him sometimes. But I will say that I think this defense on Edmonton's played a lot better than I thought it would. I think it's looked really, really solid. And especially in some of the games against LA and in the later stretches against Vegas, they really weren't allowing the Knights to get that many chances, get that many shots on net. They were kind of clogging up the neutral zone and clogging up the center of the offensive zone. They're doing a pretty damn good job here in this series without Matthias Ekholm. That's the crazy part. They don't have Ekholm in this scenario. They may heading into game 3 or game 4, but right now they don't. And that's just insane for me, honestly. I can't believe it. Brian Nugent-Hopkins up next. I'm getting too ahead of myself. 20 goals, 29 assists, 49 points in the regular season. In the playoffs, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Nuge has been great. I think, again, he's always been a very good forward there for sure. Definitely not as good as his 100-point year 2 years ago, but even still, he's a phenomenal player. It is somebody that should not be taken lightly for sure there on that Oilers team. And then Zach Hyman, 27 goals, 17 assists, 44 points in the regular season. 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hyman's looked great. I think, again, he's somebody that I'm looking forward to watching here in this series. He's been, scoring at a pretty good rate here in these playoffs, and I'm excited. I am really excited about this series and how it's going to play out. You look at Dallas's end, you have Mikko Rantanen, who has been unbelievable. 32 goals, 56 assists, 88 points in the regular season, which is actually a career low for him. And then in the playoffs, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs in just about, I think that's 14 games there. That's insane. It's honestly unmatched with how Rantanen's been playing. I would take career low regular season numbers and then a high-flying playoffs over a high-flying regular season and then a low playoffs any day of the week. Seriously. Rantanen has been unbelievable. He has 2 hat tricks in these playoffs. The Finnish Mafia generally for this Stars team looks unreal too. Guys like Granlund and Heiskanen and Hintz. It's an unreal team full with a bunch of Finns. It's kind of crazy. Matt Duchene, 30 goals, 52 assists, 82 points there as well. With the Stars, has 5 assists in the playoffs. Definitely needs to improve a little bit there for sure. Hasn't really scored yet, which I think it means we're going to see a goal from Duchene in this series. There's no way he's going to go scoreless throughout the playoffs. But yeah, overall, Duchene, very good player when he is. He's a very, he's not really paid that much, and he still does a really good job putting up great offense. He's one of the more cost-efficient players in the National Hockey League this year. Jason Robertson, 35 goals, 45 assists, 80 points in the regular season. Only has 1 assist in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year, but again, keep that in mind. He was obviously injured for the first round series. I think seeing how he looked in the second round matchup, I didn't see him a ton when I was commentating the games. I do think there's probably something there, possibly. So that's something to keep a lookout there for with Robertson. Wyatt Johnston, 4th in scoring, 33 goals, 38 assists, 71 points in the regular season. 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in the playoffs. Johnston has that playoff MVP, just playoff clutch type of guy to him. Like, I talked a lot about Aho in the stream last night and in the preview, that he has that, like, playoff feel to him where he's, like, is ready for playoffs all the time. I get that same feel here with Johnston. He's just, like, he's a playoff clutch player, has, like, 3 goals in Game 7s. Come on. Like, that's insane. That's wild for a young kid like him. And then Rupe Hintz, 28 goals, 39 assists, 67 points, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. I think Hintz has been great, honestly. I really like how he's looked here with Dallas. Again, just we know what Hintz can do. We know that Finnish Mafia is nothing to mess around with, and I'm excited to see how it's going to do here in this round of the playoffs. As well as that, too, you got to give shout out to Thomas Harley as well, who's been phenomenal on that back end for the Stars. With Heiskanen not being in the lineup for some games, he's come in there and has been phenomenal. You got to give him his flowers there as well. And then as well as that, too, Heiskanen obviously did return there, too, so that's a factor you got to look at as well. But overall, these are 2 very good teams matching up. What it might come down to is the special teams plays a huge factor. The other factor might be goaltending. And let's take a look at the Oilers first because they have 2 guys that I want to highlight here. You have Stuart Skinner, 26, 18, and 4 with a 2.81, a .896 in the regular season. Had a 2-3 record with a 3.05 and a .884 in the playoffs. Again, those numbers are a little bit skewed. You look at those numbers since the start of the second round. He has not allowed a goal in 2 games. He has 2 back-to-back shutouts. He's been phenomenal for the Edmonton Oilers in that sense. And I think that he probably gets the nod. I don't think Calvin Pickard's ready just yet. He's dealing with that injury still. But I wonder if Skinner kind of shits the bed the first 2 games, possibly. I'm not saying that he will. But if he were to shit the bed the first 2 games, they'll put in Calvin Pickard when he's healthy by then, hopefully. 22, 10, and 1, a 2.71, a .900 in the regular season. In the playoffs, 6-0, a 2.84, and a .888. I think those numbers are also skewed there, too. He's looked phenomenal in the playoffs. I don't think those numbers are really that fair, but again, overall, just the Oilers' goaltending looks pretty decent this year, and it's not to be disrespected. I feel like people disrespect it too much because they see Stuart Skinner and they're like, oh, man, that guy stinks. Well, no. Like, I've learned not to doubt these guys anymore, honestly. And then Jake Ottinger in for the Stars. We know what Ottinger is. Come on. 36, 18, and 4 with a 2.59 and a .909 in the regular season. In the playoffs, 8 and 5 with a 2.47 and a .919 there as well. Ottinger's been just incredible, honestly. He's been backstopping the Stars. He backstopped them through Colorado. He backstopped them through Winnipeg. I think he's going to play a massive factor here in this series. And I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it sucks we're not going to be able to stream till games 2 and 4 of this series. But I really do think that this is going to be a high-flying, offensively touted series. You have guys who can score on both ends of the rink in this series, whether it's offensively or defensively. You have really good players in this series. Edmonton could be getting back Ekholm and Pickard. Just overall, like, this is a very good series. And I'm actually picking the Oilers to win it in 6 games. I think I picked the Stars last year to win, but this year I'm picking the Oilers in 6. I just think Edmonton, they're destined for something this year. It feels like that kind of year for them. I wonder, though, like Dallas, if they're going to win it, it's going 7. If it goes 7, then it's over, honestly, because Pete DeBoer's Game 7 record is just unmatched. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your predictions. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy, make sure to subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.